Hello everyone, the content of this section is from the book, The Land of the Free and the Home of the Hilarious, author, Olivia Wilson. Welcome to subscribe The Land of the Free and the Home of the Hilarious. Exclusive copyright. Chapter 4, The Great Depression, How to Survive on a Diet of Hope and Hot Dogs. The Great Depression was a tough time for America. Jobs were scarce, food was scarce, and people were struggling to make ends meet. But through it all, people found ways to survive, even if it meant living on a diet of hope and hot dogs. Yes, that's right. Hot dogs were one of the few affordable foods during the Great Depression. They were cheap, filling, and could be stretched to feed a family. People would cook them in a variety of ways, from boiling to frying to roasting over an open fire. And let's not forget the classic hot dog condiments, like ketchup, mustard, and relish, which helped to make them a little more palatable. But it wasn't just about the food. People had to find ways to stay positive and hopeful, even when times were tough. They would listen to the radio, watch movies, and read books to escape their everyday struggles. And they found ways to come together, forming communities and support networks to help each other through the hard times. One of the most famous examples of this was the Hooverville, a shantytown named after President Herbert Hoover, who many blamed for the economic downturn. These communities were made up of people who had lost their homes and were living in makeshift shelters made from whatever materials they could find. But even in these difficult living conditions, people found ways to make the best of things, creating their own sense of community and hope. Now, you might be thinking, but how can you survive on a diet of hope and hot dogs? And you're right, it wasn't easy. But the people of the Great Depression were tough and resourceful, finding ways to make do with what they had. And through it all, they never lost their sense of humor. They would make jokes and tell stories to keep their spirits up, finding laughter in even the toughest situations. And they would find small joys in everyday moments, like a beautiful sunset or a friendly conversation. So, the next time you bite into a hot dog or face a tough situation, remember the people of the Great Depression. They found ways to survive on a diet of hope and hot dogs, and they remind us that we too can find strength and resilience in even the most difficult times. 10 famous dishes that originated from the Great Depression. Cream chipped beef on toast, a dish made with dried beef, flour, and milk, served over toast. Fried spam. Spam was a cheap and readily available meat during the Great Depression and was often fried or used in casseroles. Hoover stew, a soup made with whatever vegetables and meats were available, often supplemented with hot dogs. Cornbread and beans, a simple and inexpensive dish made with cornbread and a variety of beans, often cooked with ham or bacon for added flavor. Depression cake, a cake made without eggs, milk, or butter, using ingredients like vinegar, baking soda, and molasses instead. Potato pancakes, a dish made with grated potatoes, flour, and eggs, often served with applesauce or sour cream. Spam and eggs, a breakfast dish made with fried spam and scrambled eggs. Apple butter, a spread made with apples, sugar, and spices, often canned for later use. Tomato soup cake, a cake made with tomato soup, flour, and sugar, often served with cream cheese frosting. Egg drop soup, a simple soup made with chicken broth and beaten eggs, often flavored with soy sauce and sesame oil. Thank you all for watching. This program is exclusively licensed.